This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, very good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome back. So last session we were discussing about so making our applications, right? So yeah, making our application images is what we discussed in the last session, and we had our images might have got created. Let's cross verify. I also didn't check, so let's see our images are available or not. So DevOps 53. And images, right? I wanted to verify, so I better go here. And I go to the AMIs. So do I have all the AMIs? Yes, all the 6 AMIs are available. Cool. Okay. So now first thing what I wanted to do start doing here is so I have to set up my environment. So setting up the environment. So for the first thing which I do require is the network part. So that's where I will just go and so trigger my VPC part. Okay. So first, so I need VPC. So create a VPC. So it runs only the dev environment. Of course, I want to run dev. So let the VPC got created. First thing. And if you remember the diagram, so basically, so how did we did this was, so the Terraform structure. Okay. So I think we are just actually making this one, right? So we're actually making the VPC, and after VPC, what actually supposed to be running? Let me see here. So infra creation pipeline is also there. So we need to create the first the front end, and the ALB is a separate part. Okay, all right. Okay, cool. The VPC is done. Now we'll go with the front end and create a release. So probably we don't require the AMI, so we'll just start with the dev deployment. Okay. create, deploy. It's going to take time. So any questions in the meantime, feel to ask any kind of questions. Okay, so here is a failure. I believe it is an image pull issue. So what it is telling is, okay, this is also fine. The root module does not declare a variable DynamoDB, but the value was found, and this is okay. Is okay. Your query doesn't give any results. Yeah, this is the error basically. Now, why I'm getting this error? Because yeah, so the query which I'm kind of making is so for finding the AMI, so we might be doing something there. So we need to find it out. So how it is making. So then I'll go with rs hyphen front end. This is RoboShop project Terraform project. So here I have front end. So here I probably searching with this one. This is actually calling a module, right? Terraform ASG. So I have to go to ASG and in the data.tf. So we need to find it out how actually we're searching. So the filter, we are actually searching in the name of where.component, but actually it might not be the where.component exactly. It might be where.component hyphen star. Okay, so let me show you that. So AWS. So something like this, name and a hyphen star. Okay. So what I wanted to make here is, so here, dollar, this is hyphen star. So this is such criteria. Previously it was given only front end. Now front end hyphen something is there. Okay. So, and out of this, so which one we want to take it? So most recent equal to true. So that means the latest one you're going to get it out there. Or actually we're supposed to pick it up the appropriate version, right? So if you need to pick it up appropriate version, so then how do you do that? So that tuning also, let's try to do that. So I don't want to even go in the star approach. I want to pull the appropriate image. Okay, so how do I get the appropriate image? So here actually, so your front end is actually being added with a this app, right? So here 0.0.18. So, and if you go to the AMI, front end hyphen 0.0.18. So that's the relation we need to bring it up. And how do I do that is, so let's go and find it out. Okay. So here, edit pipeline. So which I wanted to do is this one, and Terraform apply. So make this is okay. And so what I wanted to do is, I'll open the task groups. I already did it here for AMI making. I go for AMI, go for bash script. So here is the one I have to do. This one, put it to here. So you're actually going to take release artifacts app build number as a Terraform this variable. Now what I wanted to do is I just need to take this variable and I need to pass it to my asg.tf. Okay. And I have to read it from here. And I have to put it to yeah. This is the exact one I'm going to search now. Okay. So and then try to run this. At least it started working. So it just started creating the things. Okay. So previously it was throwing an error in the very starting because the search result was nothing. Now you're getting a search result because you made it in an appropriate way. So just created, it's too fast. Okay. So I think it might be done. All right. So let's go and cross verify. So I go with auto scaling groups. Yeah, front end has been created. All right, cool. And so now we'll go with the Elvis. The next one is going to be Elvis. So I will just go with the LB. So create a release, create it. So in the meantime, so I will go with, so the changes need to be made. So whatever we made it to the front end, so this particular change, so we need to make it to, we need to make it to, every component, like that export variable, basically. So, rather than this, what I would suggest is export this as a the front end, click edit. So I can convert this into a task group. Create a task group is what it is telling. And this task group is what I would say. This task group is for so Terraform dev environment, something like that. Okay, so just click on create, and so this only got converted into that. Okay, so I'll just come here. Okay, so this is the one I wanted to go with a task group. So here I want to say, like, Terraform Okay, cool. And so if I want to do this to everything, then I'll go to the every pipeline and I'll just update them. So I'll just go to releases and I will say to the cart, I'll click on edit. So go here rather than doing the modification here. So because I'm not doing this because tomorrow if I need some modification, I'll change it in one place. Okay. So and search for Terraform, apply our will come task group. That's it. Let's go to task group. So hope there is no hard-coded values. Environment variables, nothing. Cool. I'll go to the catalog and I'll just update the others. Edit, edit. So you have Terraform apply. Okay. Yes. Okay, done. So let's go and verify the LB part. LB part is done. So then we have to, we can run all these particular components in one shot. So I'll just go to the payment and create a release. So the MI is not needed, and just click on create, and let's go to the deploy and payment shipping, create a release, MI not needed, create it, and create it and go to the tail and just click on deploy. Okay, so go to the releases, and also I got a some idea. Basically, see, every time actually I'm creating something, I'm creating a release. So then what I'm actually doing, I'm stopping the AMI and proceeding to the second stage. Rather than that, so my AMI should always validate if the AMI already there or not. So if the AMI is already there, so then yeah, it should not actually create an AMI. Just skip and proceed. Okay, I want to run this stage basically, but it should not create an image every time. So just to, it will not allow my, sorry, it just will not waste my time. So sometimes if I accidentally click also, so something wrong should not happen. So that's my idea. Okay, so how do I do that? So since actually the MI is a part of a task group, I can go to the task group, and I have a bash script there here. So then what I wanted to do is I just wanted to keep like mm, or else you can build the logic here itself. So then what I'm going to do is, first of all, you have to do the, first of all, I have to do the AWS CLI and find it out. How do I get that particular AMI list? Let me see. Okay. And now what I wanted to do here is, so I just want to go with AWS EC2 describe hyphen instances. Spelling mistake. Describe hyphen AMIs. I'm not sure whether I get the AMI here. I'll find it out. Describe images. Describe hyphen ID images. So describe images option is there. So I will just go for describe images. So you'll get all the images basically. So but I want some filtering here, and ultimately it looks for a region. So here hyphen region, which is US hyphen east hyphen one. It should not take this much time. Let me see. So AWS credentials are there. So now why AWS S3LS? So it is coming AWS EC2 this instances. Okay, so this also coming, but describe images is not coming, right? So describe images. So let me ask internet that what is the syntax for this. Okay, describe images means it's a wide list, very wide list might be. Okay, that's the reason it's not coming too late. Okay, so I think here I have to go with some owners option is there. Okay, hyphen owners. So hyphen owners. I'll come to the example. So this is the image ID, and that's one thing. And this is what I'm looking for basically. So the tag is a type and the values is custom, and the query is image star or image ID. And so here it is. And um, okay, so now I will say that it is a front-end hyphen 0.0.18, whether it is there or not. And so here the tag is basically is name, right? So you're getting images is empty. How come the tag is correct? Okay. Rather than the filter, I'll start with hyphen owners, and my owner ID is mm, this is the account ID. Okay. So describe images of this particular owner. You're getting a list of them. All right. So now out of this, so I just am looking for. I'm just looking for what? I'm just looking for a dot name. Okay. So then I would say that so pipe JQ. So JQ. Sorry, JQ dot. I'm actually taking images. Images is a list. I would just take this and a dot name I will give. So I will be pulling up this particular information. All right. So now I will, so grep for friend and hyphen 0.0.18. If it is there, then you don't need to create an image. If it is not there, then you create an image. Okay. So then here I am going to say that. Hmm, AMI. So what I'm actually going to do here is this. Okay, owner ID is this one, and JQ. In your case, you need to give your owner ID, and here I'm looking for grep hyphen print and dollar this variable. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is if dollar question mark is equivalent to if dollar question mark is not equivalent to 0, okay, then If it is not equal to 0, then do that. Okay, so that's what I'm telling. Uh, okay, save it. Now that means actually if that AMI is already there, it will not go for creating an AMI once again. So let's see whether it really working or not. I'll go to the shipping, create a release, anything it works. So create it. Actually, here my artifacts are private repositories. Okay, so that is the reason it's a private artifacts. So that is the reason my pipelines, is not really going in parallel. It's only one job running at one time. Why? Because there is a privateness involved over here, and I would have uh, created a field, and okay, visibility is public only. Then I'm not sure. Okay, so why only one is running? I'm not sure. Now, if I go here, it's actually starting the Terraform. Okay, so I'm canceling it immediately. It should not go. Okay, why? Because it should look for the valid image name. So the image should have been, image would have been there already. What you are getting, you're actually getting AWS issue. Okay, AWS CLI didn't work as expected. There's a small problem here. What I'll do is I'll just go to the edit pipeline, and I will say I'll go to the AMI. So this agent, so 20 version is having some problem. I don't know. I'm not able to figure it out yet. So go with the 16 or 18 version also works fine, but don't go with the 20 version agent. Okay. So still it is going. This is okay. Lock error is also fine because I'm looking for here. You need to also configure a region, so something like that. Okay, so you must specify a region. So AWS CLI, when we executed on our system, it was not needed, but here it is needed. So go to the task groups and go to the AMI and you say that the script. So here, hyphen region, so which is US hyphen east hyphen one. Okay, so So still it is failing. And the reason for the failure here, mm, because you're not able to find out anything. Okay. Uh, okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. So there is a small mistake once again. So task groups, you're actually running which AMI, which is you're running a, which you're running a shipping component, right? So now if I edit this, if I go to the variables, what are the variables I have? F underscore var underscore component. Okay. So now if I go to the task group, so what I did was, so for everything I'm searching for front end only. Okay. So now this AMI for everything I'm searching grep for front end hyphen. No. It's actually going to be this one. I should search for this one. Okay. So component also will search for component hyphen the release number. Then only it will work. Cool. So now it's skipped actually. Okay. So which is fine. All right. So because every time I don't need to, so avoid this and do this. So sometimes if there is a pipeline triggered even accidentally also, the AMI should not create and it should not take a longer time. So that's just the caution I took it. Okay. Now let's see how the shipping is happening. Now what it is telling is underscore terraform hyphen front end doesn't exist. Okay. So how come? Let's see. Um, since we moved to a task group. Okay. So some more changes would come into picture. So the terraform apply. So actually here we are actually going into advanced and running it over here. Okay. So probably I'll just say that, so terraform of so the variables are supported, right? You see this, the variables are supported. So what I'm going to give is what I'm going to go and give is tf underscore var underscore component. Okay, so this is what I wanted to give. So the var component will come like terraform hyphen the component will be there. All right. So yeah. So Okay, so this way it will not work, huh? I wanted to keep the other braces, so it's actually here it is accessing it not with flower braces. Let's put these braces. So still some same error, huh? Okay, let's see. Okay. TV. Okay, my bad. It's not TV, it's TF. But still I have my own questions. Basically, let's see. Otherwise, we'll make it in another approach. So let's just Okay, and one last try by putting the other variable type, I mean the braces. Uh, Otherwise, we'll go with other approach. Or it has to come as not system. This is okay, I think. Let's see. Okay, now at least we got some other error. Okay, we didn't got something like yeah, we didn't got that particular variable issue. Now it is actually going inside that, and it is telling that app artifact version is required, but no definition is given here. Okay, so all right, and that means if I go to the task groups, Terraform apply, it should have this one. Yeah, it is there, right? So app artifact version. um, App artifact version. So but what is the error you're getting? uh, App artifact version is needed, but there is no definition given. Okay, makes sense. So this is actually on the code side. If I go into the code, so now you're running the shipping part, right? So if you go to the shipping, so here you're actually giving ASG. So this you didn't give anything. So here you have to go with variable declaring this, and here you go with this one is equal to var dot this one. Okay, so this is how you have to send the data. So one more release, it should start working. Let's see. It's almost running. The other components also will work, I believe. Let's see. There is an error. So what is the error? Mm, so the CNAME with the DNS name, this one is not permitted as it conflicts with the other records of the DNS name. That was p53.tk. Okay, let me see. I go to route 53. Let's see. So since this is no change on the code side, I can redeploy this, redeploy the same, so same release, because there is no code change. There is no changes in the pipeline. It's actually the Amazon change. It doesn't impact anything here. So yeah, this worked. All right. And the next thing is let's go with the payment. Control is. Do we need to modify anything? Not sure. Let's see. Okay, this is getting failed. Okay, let's see what's the failure. Code issue. Yeah, so we're doing payment, and in the payment what you have to do is same thing, variable this, this. Okay, and front end is done, payment is done. Let's do others also. Cart is equal to var dot this, and variable one more. Okay, cool. The payment is going fine, and we will go with front end user. Okay, so the user is also done. Now I'll go with the catalog. Is create card also I'll create in parallel. Okay, all the components, the code is ready. So probably the backend components like databases and all is databases and all is not ready. Okay, so we need to work on that particular part first. Okay, so once we have the databases up and running, so we can then only check the functionality of the app. Okay, now how do I check the functionality, or how do I check the, sorry, how do I make the database up and running? So I will go and create a Terraform module, a Terraform, so one module putting all the databases in a single shot. Okay, so I will just start with. So here, when you go with the databases, so there are certain databases which offered as a service. Now you have RDS, so where you can go with the MySQL of Amazon, or MySQL if you want from Amazon, you can go with the RDS service. So you can go here and create a service with MySQL. Okay, so if you just go here and create a database, so the database will be MySQL database. Okay, so these are all the relational databases. SQL databases is given this way, and there are other like MySQL is there. Now Redis, basically Redis comes as Elastic Cache. So there is a Elastic Cache, and we can use this particular Redis. Okay, and we can do that. But actually we cannot do this. Why? Because there is a problem. There is a problem with the code which we are using. The code whichever we are using doesn't have any Redis authentication. Got the point? Okay, so all the time you're actually connecting to the databases, directly giving the port actually, and you're nowhere giving the username and password other than the MySQL, because MySQL without username and password it will never work. Okay, that is the other reason. Okay, so whereas the Redis and MongoDB, you were never giving the username and passwords inside the application. That's a major problem. Okay, and so that's the reason actually I cannot use this particular Elastic Cache, or Elastic Cache without a token. I think I mean without an authentication is possible. I go with the Redis, and if I create it, if I try to create an in this one. mm, Okay, unless until you encrypt security, okay, it's open by default. Okay, we can use this. Okay, Elastic Cache, we can use it. Okay, fine. RDS, MySQL we use RDS, Redis we use Elastic Cache. But document DB, so document DB you have here as a MongoDB, they named it here as a document DB. So for document DB, we cannot use it. This is for sure. This is going to generate username and password. Without username and password, this cluster will not allow you to authenticate. But my application code is not ready with the username and password. So that the day work actually the developers has to do. So that's where I cannot use this service. I'll go with the I will go with the what we call. I'll go with the single server is setting up the MongoDB. That's it. Okay. And whereas finally coming to the RabbitMQ, RabbitMQ is very recently introduced actually in Amazon. Okay, so just a couple of months back it was introduced, and this also kind of requires the authentication. Okay, RabbitMQ. So this one and a single instance broker. Yeah, and you have to give the username and password to authenticate. Okay, so this is the something. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, next. So yeah, and so you are getting a create a broker. Huh? That's fine. Okay, we can start using this particular service as well. We don't know how it works, but yes, we can start at least with this particular one. Only the Dynamo DB, only the not Dynamo DB, only the document DB, which is nothing but the MongoDB, we cannot use it that direct service. Okay, the developer has to enhance the code. Otherwise, we are fine. Okay, we can use all these particular services. Okay, rather than putting on the servers. Okay, so that's the next step. So I'm going to create a what we call repo and say that so Terraform hyphen databases. Okay, create it. Okay, so now we have that here. So I will say it's first go with rds.df. Okay, I want to create a relational database. Okay, so let's start with if I want to create RDS, so then RDS Terraform. We go with the RDS AWS DB instance. So in order to create a database, basically, so in Amazon, so what you have to do is, first of all, you have to get few things ready. So that's where I'll just say here RDS. Mm, yeah, if you go with the databases, before creating any databases, so first of all, you have to create a network group. Okay, and that is called as a subnet group. So first of all, see what Amazon is trying to do. Amazon is trying to do to provide database as a service. Now if they're providing database as a service, so that means it's going to be they're going to give you a high availability. Okay, hey user, they're telling like hey user, you don't bother about that, I will manage the complete database. So that means they provide some 99% of the uptime of your database, and for that actually they need to maintain some replicas, isn't it? They need to maintain some cluster in multiple availability zones. And okay, so that is the reason, so we need to, and that is the reason okay, so we need to group, we need to have the multiple availability zones used for this particular database. And that particular which availability zones you need to use it in all, you have to tell to the so this guy, by using subnet group. So first you have to create one subnet group. Okay, and the next one is parameter group. So what is parameter group is, if you want to pass some parameter into the if you want to pass some parameters, custom parameters means a configuration, like let's say MySQL, if you remember, or MongoDB, when you install it manually, so you go and update your you'll go and update your IP address from localhost 127 to 0.0.0.0. So that's one parameter in the configuration. If you want to change such parameters, okay, your parameter group should be there. So these two are mandatory for you to create a database. Any database as a service which offered by Amazon, there's a parameter group you need to use, and subnet group also you need to use. So we need to create those first before going with the other thing. So that's where I just wanted to use subnet group first, db underscore subnet underscore group. So first I have to do this. So here it is. And what all the subnets I'm supposed to use? So the subnet information is available in the subnet information is available from data of VPC. So that's where I'm going to take this as well. Okay, and even before to that, so I just need to configure two things here. Backend dev.tfs. This is actually databases. Okay, done. And prod also databases. I'm done. And here data.tf, you are having something which is okay. And in the environment, so what you're having here, so we are having RoboShop. Environment is this one. So component is, I don't think so this is needed. So instance type is also not needed. Probably instance type is needed. So which is MySQL MySQL underscore instance underscore type, which is T3 micro. This is fine. Okay, and equivalent variables will come into picture. And also the provider.tf. And the state.tf. Yeah, so you need to create a subnet group. So this subnet group is actually going to come from the list of subnets, and those list of subnets is data dot this one VPC dot outputs dot private underscore subnets. What is this window? Okay, and this is already a list. I don't think so you need to provide it in a list. So since it comes as a list, okay, and so the name is MySQL, this one you are creating, and this actually you're creating it for MySQL, and it's gonna be MySQL DB subnet row. All right, so yeah, Okay, so just this much to start with, and of course you need to make the make file. Okay, variable project name, variable env, and then variable this one. Okay, so I want to okay, I just want to create the I just want to create a new pipeline. Rather than this, I will say here ALB or something is there, right? ALB. Just clone this, and you will say data bases. Okay, I'll say delete this, and I'll go for all right. So let's create a release. Okay, it exited with something else. Huh? So what it is telling is a where dot region and okay, variables are not there. All right. So then in that case over here, um, you're having the TF so variable bucket, variable region. Let me cross check with others. So here vars.tf, yeah, bucket and region is also given. Yeah. Okay, cool. So here in our case, we just created um, the subnet group. Okay, so if you just come here, the subnet group is created. Okay, the rest of the things we will just try to create in tomorrow's session, and we'll just create the databases code. And we have once we have the databases, we'll ensure our whole application is working as expected, and then we will test it out. Our application is working fine. If it is working fine, we'll put some load onto the system and see how the system is behaving. Okay, so to understand the behavior, the monitoring comes into picture. So that's where the Prometheus comes into picture. All right, and I think that's all from my side for today. Yeah, any questions? The chart.
Raghu, will you have time to look at the issue?
Yeah, ping me on the Slack. We will connect again.
Okay.
Anyone? Any other questions? Okay, all right. No questions. We'll meet in tomorrow's session then. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye.